So we're gonna go over 3.1, 3.2 today. 3.1, it's about simple interest. And simple interest means you have investment, so you invest money. And if you use the different ways of investment, you have simple interest, you have compound interest, you have compound continuously. So we're going to talk about different type of investments. We're going to talk about annuity also. So simple interest it's and compound interest are the investments where you just invest your money and then in the end you get the result, the amount you're going to get. So you're not making payments like every month, putting some money or stuff like that. So investments like simple interest and compound interest, you are investing your money in the beginning and then you get your money in the end. Okay. And probably you're thinking that's one way of investment. No, these are two different or three different ways, actually more different ways of investments. The principle is the same. You have one principle invested and then you get the result. But what's happened with the money when you invest them, then we have different story there. Make sense? So simple interest means you invest your money. That's the principle. So let me talk about some of the letters here in the formula. So this is the formulas, how to calculate. So this is the formula to calculate the interest you're going to get. How much is only the interest? And then this is the formula, how much is the amount on your account. So that means the future value. It's called means when you the start money, the money you put in the bank, and then the money you get in the end is the amount. Okay. So how this works? So you put your money in the bank, they stay there for depends how many years is your investment. They stay there, nothing happened to them, and then in the end you calculate the rate and you get your interest. That's all. So that's why it's simple. It's so simple. You don't do anything. Your money stay there, collect the dust, do nothing, and then just get your interest. Okay. So of course there's a better way of investment. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So simple interest, the letter I is the amount of interest. P is the invested, and also it's called principal. So what you invested, it's a principal. R is the rate and have to be transferred to decimal form. It have to be decimal, that's important. And T is the time, which have to be always in years. So if your investment is for 5 months, then T has to be 5 divided by 12. 5 months out of 12. Always, that's how you transfer it to years. Okay? So this is the formula. So if they ask you to find what is the interest in simple interest, that's the formula you're using. Now to calculate the amount, the total amount you're going to get from your investment, you're going to use this formula. The amount is equal principal, parentheses 1 plus RT. Okay? Another formula you can use, but this is kind of faster way, it's the amount is technically the principal you invest plus the interest. That's what you're going to get in the end of your investment. So let's say you put $100 in the bank, in the account. Let's say the investment is for 10 years. You're going to calculate the interest after 10 years. That's going to be the I. And then you're going to add it to the investment, to the $100, and that's going to be the amount in your account. Everybody understand the principle? Any questions so far? So what you're doing, just going to use this formula to calculate the amount or the interest or whatever they're asking you for. So let's start with number 1. See here it says, unless otherwise not, round the money to the nearest dollar to the whole number, percent to 2 decimal places. As percent, you have to write it as a percent, and the time to the nearest tenth of a year. Okay, so that's what you're going to keep in mind for these questions. So number 1, if Ms. Gonzalez borrowed $1,000 for 4 years from a bank that charged 5% annual simple interest, So that's the keywords you're going to look for. We have simple interest. It's going to say in this type of questions, it's going to say what type of investment it is. So it's simple interest. It says here simple interest. How much interest will she owe at the end of the 4 years? So how much interest? That's the first question. And how much in total? See here it says principal plus interest. She will pay to the bank at the end of the 4 years. Okay, the total. So also you have to find the total. So there are two questions we need to do here. So the first question is calculating the interest. And also, so that's the interest, how much interest, and how much in total, which is the A, the letter A. You have to find A also. So first we need to find the interest. The formula for interest is the principal times the rate times the time. Now, let's see what we have. She borrowed 1,000. This is the money she starts with. Okay, so that's gonna be the principal. So this is the principal. 1,000 is the principal. 4 years is the time. And then the rate is 5%. We have to change 5% to decimal. So what is 5% to decimal? Do you know how to change percent to decimal? You divide by 100. So 5 divided by 100 is going to be 0.05. So that's the number you're going to use for the rate. The time is going to be 4 because it's already in years. And the principal is going to be 1,000. So that's all what you're doing. You're going to plug it in all these numbers into the formula and you're going to use calculator after that. So you're going to have 1,000 is the principal. The rate is 0.05%. And then the time is 4 years. And then when you multiply that, you're going to get the amount when she needs to pay. See, sometimes you're investing. So that means we're going to get money. My money are going to increase and that's what I'm getting. Sometimes you're going to borrow. When you borrow money, that's how much you're going to pay back. Okay. So let's see, we're going to multiply this and you're going to get 200. Everybody understand that? So the first question is going to be, she's going to pay 200 interest on that money she borrowed, on that loan. So that's the first question. And then the second question is going to be, we need to find the amount, how much she's going to pay back. So there are two ways you can use the formula when you add the principal plus the interest, or you can plug it in the second formula. Now, if you already have the interest calculated, it's easier if you use the amount is the principal plus the interest. It's easier to use it that way. See, that's what it says, principal plus interest. So we're going to get, we're just going to add how much you borrow, 1,000 plus 200 is the interest. So that's going to be 1,200 or 1,200. Okay, everybody good with that answer? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that was easy, right? Okay, next one is number 2. Again, Mr. Hugh borrowed 3,000 for 3 years from a bank, charged 2% annual, simple interest. So that's the keyword again, simple interest. How much interest you own for the 3 years and how much have to pay back. So this is the same type of question. They're asking what is the interest and what is the amount. So I'm just going to leave this for you to practice. It's the same way here. The only difference is you're going to use the principal. For this one, I'm going to write here what is given. Principal is 3,000. The time is 3 years, right? You're going to use 3. And the rate is going to be, change 2% to decimal, is going to be 0.02. So these are the numbers you're going to plug in the formula the same way like number 1. So I'm not going to finish just the same idea, the same way. Okay, let's see what we have in number 3. Mr. and Mrs. Smith are running short of money this month and they decide to borrow 500 from the bank and repay the money in 6 months when they get their income tax refund check. If the bank charges 6% annual simple interest, how much interest they own and how much they need to pay back. So this is the same way, but we're going to work this out because I want to show you how to change the 6 months. So here again we have simple interest, the keyword. So they borrow 5. So they're asking what is the interest and also what is the amount. Okay, so let's see what is given. Okay, we have given the principal is 500, right? They borrow 500. The rate is 6%, so it's going to be 0.06, right? And then they want to repay it in 6 months. This is not in years. So the time has to change to years. So this is how you change 6 months to years. You're going to divide by 12 and it's going to give you years. So 6 divided by 12 is 1/2, which is 0.5 years. So always divide by 12, half year, right? Okay, so that's the numbers and then you're going to plug it in and you're going to do the same. Okay, so here, I mean, if you want, you can finish it real quick. So you're going to have the interest is going to be principal, which is 500 times the rate, 0.06 times 0.05. I'm sorry, 0.5, not 0.05. And then we're going to plug it in the calculator. So 500 times 0.06 times 0.5 is 15. So for 6 months, $15 interest, and the amount they have to return is going to be 500 principal plus 15 is the interest. So that's going to be 515. Okay, so these are my answers. $15 interest and 550 is the total amount they have to return. Okay, everybody understand that? Any questions? Okay. Yes? No? Okay, so next one. Joe is borrowing 600 from his parents in order to finish paying his tuition bill. His parents agree to the loan if Joe will repay the money at the end of 9 months. His parents charge him 3%, how much he owns, and have to pay the parents. So this is pretty much the same idea. So I'm just going to write down what you need to find, what you need to plug it in, and then I'm going to leave it to you to finish it, okay? So here again, they're asking what is the interest and how much is the total amount he needs to pay back, right? The same idea. And what is given? We have given the principal is 600, so he borrowed 600. The rate is 3%, so it's going to be 0.03 in decimal. And 9 months, you're just going to divide 9 divided by 12 is going to be the time, okay? And that's 0.75. You have to change it to, you always have to change it to decimal. Okay? Oh, sorry. Then that's all. We just have to put the time is 0.75 and you have all the numbers, plug it into the formula, and then calculate it the same way. Okay, so let's see the next one. Find the amount needed to pay of a simple interest loan. So here they're asking to find only the amount. So they're not asking for the interest by itself. They're asking find the amount. So we need to find A. And this time you're going to use the second formula, which is the principal, because we don't have calculated the interest. 1 plus RT. So this is the formula. And what this is the formula you're going to use. And what is given? We have given the principal is 5,000. The rate is 6%, which is 0.06 in decimal. And the time is 2.5 years, so it's 2.5. Always have to be in years. Okay? I mean, I'm changing it to decimal because it's easy when you plug it into the calculator, but you can keep it like 2.5 also, that's fine. But it's easy to plug it into the calculator. So then what you're doing, you're gonna just plug the number. So you have 5,000, 1 plus 0.06 times 2.5. And you can just use calculator and I can show you how to plug it in. You can just go to symbol up and you can just enter it here. So you have 5,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.0, what was the rate? 6 and 2.5. 0.6 times 2.5, and that's it. Oops, I put comma. 2.5, like that. That's all. So just enter it like that in the calculator and let's see what you're gonna get. So the amount, the total amount is gonna be 5,750. Okay? 5,750. So that's all. You're gonna plug it in just the way it is into calculator and whatever you get. Okay? Any questions? Okay, going to the next one. The next one, it's about find the amount the same way. So I'm not gonna do this the same way. Here, just gonna write, so using the same formula, let me just write what is given. The principal is 2,000. The rate in decimal is gonna be 0.105 because you divide by 100. And then the time is 3 years. So the same formula. So I'm not gonna do this the same idea, you can finish it. Then let's see the next one. What amount needed? So this is a little different. What amount need to be invested? So that means they're asking what is the principal. So here they're asking what is the principal, 4% rate in order to have, so this is the amount we need to get. 6,000 is the amount and the time is 3 years. So the amount is going to be 6,000. The time is going to be 3 years. And the rate is going to be 4%, which is 0.0. We're going to change it to decimal. 0.04 is the rate. So in this case, we're using the same formula, but we have to calculate the principal. And this is how you do it. You have the same formula. The amount is equal principal 1 plus RT. That's the formula. We're going to plug it in into this formula, and then you're going to solve for P. So the amount is 6,000. P is what I need to find. We don't know P. And then 1 plus 0.04 times 3. Now, how are you going to solve for P? You're going to calculate this first. And then you're going to divide both sides by that number to get P by itself, right? So what is 0.04 times 3? That's 0.12 plus 1 is going to be 1.12. So when I divide, because I want to be between P and the parentheses, it's a multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 1.12, 6,000 both sides. So all these cancel out. So you get P equals, and now we're going to divide 6,000, going to divide by 1.12. And that's, I'm going to write everything and then we're going to round. 5,357.14, and there are many decimal after that, but I'm going to stop here. They want us to round the number to the whole number. So I'm going to round this to, we're going to write the answer is $5,357 because we're going to round to the whole number. That's what they want us to do. Okay? So that's my final answer. Any questions? Everybody understand what we did to solve it? So use the formula, you plug the given numbers, and we found the P. That's what you need to find. Any questions? Okay, going
No,
to the
ma'am.
number. Yes? No? Okay. The next one is what amount need to be invested. So again, we need to find the principal. Needs to be invested means the principal. What you start, the original money you start with is principal. The rate, you change it to decimal, is going to be 0.035. In order to have, so this is the amount you want to receive in the end, 500 in the account in 6 months. So the time is going to be 6 over 12. It's going to be 0.5 years. Always have to be in years, right? And then you do the same we did the problem before. Okay, so number 8 is the same like number 7. You need to solve for the principal. So I'm going to leave it through here for you to finish. Then you're going to do number 9. So Fred would like to buy a new computer, but only has 500 and a new computer costs 900. He can invest the 500 in an account that pays 4% simple interest. The keyword is simple interest, so that's the formula you're going to use. How long it will be before Fred can buy his new computer? Do you think the same computer will be offered at the same price when he has saved the additional 200? Why or why not? So here we're just going to talk about. So the question is how long? How long means what is the time? Okay, how long we measure with time? So T, we need to find how many months, how many years we need to wait. He needs to wait to buy his computer. So let's see what is given. It's a simple interest on, we know we're going to use the simple interest formula. So we have, he has 500, so that's what he has. So we're going to start with the principal is 500, the starting money. The amount he needs to get is 900. Okay, then the rate is 0.04%, and you need to find the time. I was just pausing for a minute. So that's the first question. Let's find the time. And these two additional 200, they're asking if he save 200. So if he gets 700, do you think that the same computer will be offered the same price? So that means we need to find how long it's going to take to save 2 more hundreds. And we need to think about, I mean, what do you think? Is the computer is going to be up or down? The price is going to go up or going to go down? It's going to go down, right? Usually the computers, all the IT stuff, the price go down very fast because they're having a new technology all the time, right? So let's do the first one. How long? So how long is going to take to save for the 900? So let's plug the formula. So you're going to use the same formula. The amount is going to be equal principal 1 plus RT. This is the formula. And you're going to plug the number. So A is 900. The principal is 500. And then 1 plus 0.04 T. That's what you need to find, the T. How are you going to solve this? We have multiplication between 500 and the parentheses. So you're going to divide by 500 first to get the parentheses by itself. So now 500 divided by 900 divided by 500, I'm going to keep it as a, well, we can go to decimal, it's 1.8. But if you get a like repeating number, you can keep it as a fraction because 9 divided by 5 is 1.8, which stops somewhere. But if it's like 1.3333, then you keep it as a fraction. That's the rule. And then 1 plus 0.04 t. Then in order to solve for t, I have to subtract 1 in both sides. And you're going to get 0.8 equals 0.40, and then you're going to divide by just solving linear equation. Let me draw a better 4 here. So what we get, 2 years, right? So 2 years is the time when Fred needs to wait to get the new computer. Now, you know, for 2 years, the price probably is going to go down very fast, right? So if he wanna save additional 200, that means 1 year, because for 1 year he's gonna save 200. Do you think for 1 year the price is gonna go down? Probably, right? Okay, so any questions on this? So he may be able to buy his computer in 1 year, not 2 years. If the price depends how fast the price of the computers go down. We don't have that information in numbers, right? We don't know how many percent the price is decreasing. We don't have that information in this question. Here, we just wanted to kind of think about. Okay, any questions on this? Any questions? Okay. Then you're gonna go ahead and do number 10. And number 10 is about Mary, who has 2,700 in the simple interest. So this is the keyword again. It's a simple interest. So we have given the rate is 4.5%. So in decimal, it's going to be 0.045. When you divide by 100, that's what you're going to get. She would like to have 3,000 for a down payment for a new car. How long? So how long means T also is what? So she has 2,700 now. So that's the principal. And the amount she want to get, so A is going to be 3,000. So we're going to do the same way for the question before. We're going to use the formula, plug in the numbers, divide by the principal, subtract 1, and just get the time. The same idea. So I'm going to leave this for you to finish. Then number 11. Let's see what we have. We have Mr. Young's daughter needs to borrow from him to buy her textbook. Wow, it's a very expensive textbook, 1,000. He agreed to the loan and tell her that she must pay 1,100 back in 9 months. What simple interest rate? So the question here is what rate? So they're asking simple interest and they're asking what is the rate he's charging, right? So let's see what we have given. We have to find the rate. So this is a little different, but we know it's a still simple interest. So we're gonna start with, she wanna borrow 1,000. So that's the principal, is 1,000. The amount she needs to pay back is 11,000. 9 months is the time. So it's gonna be 9 out of 12. We have to, because the amounts always have to be changed to a year, and always remember that you don't put 9, you put 9 divided by 12, which is 0.75 years. Always the time is in years, the rate is always in decimal. So my answer is going to be in decimal form, okay? So we're going to start with the formula. We're going to plug all the numbers we have. So the formula for simple interest, it's amount is equal principal 1 plus RT. So plug it in. The amount she wanna return, she has to return, must return it to her father is 1100 equals 1,000. 1 plus the rate is what you need to find, and 0.75 is the time. So we're gonna solve it the same way. You have multiplication, so you're gonna divide by 1,000. And this cancels, so you're gonna get 1.1 equals 1 plus 0.75 R. You're gonna subtract 1 in both sides. So pretty much the same steps when you solve for the time. So solving for the time and solving for the rate is the same idea. Okay, so I'm gonna write it here. Or let's write it here, 0.1 equals 0.75 R, and we're gonna divide by 0.75. Okay, so we're gonna get the rate in decimal form. So remember always the rate in the form is decimal form. So I'm gonna divide 0.1 divided by 0.75 is 0.1333 repeating 3. Okay, so I mean as many 3 you need because continue. Now, how they want the answer? They want the answer 1 decimal place, right? Let's double check how they want it. It says the time to the 10th of a year. We already have it, the whole number. So we need the percent 2 decimal places in percent form as a percentage. So I'm gonna write it as a percentage, not as a decimal. So I have to change. We have to change. Where is that? Okay, we have to change the decimal form. We need to go back to percent. So what you're doing here, we're gonna multiply by 100 2 places. So it's gonna be here, and we need 1 decimal place. Okay, so my answer is gonna be, the rate is gonna be 13.3%. So that's the rate. Everybody understand how I change it to 2%? So it's 13, so technically it's 13.33333 repeating 3. If you want 1 decimal, you're gonna round it like that. Okay, everybody understand that? So Mr. Wong charged 13.3%. Okay. The next one is about Charlie is due a tax refund of 500. A tax service will give him the money 2 months early, but will charge 50 up front to do so. What annual simple interest rate is the tax service charging him? Okay, so he's gonna get 500. but they're going to charge him $50. So what that means? Okay, I'm just looking what is left. Okay, so so how are you going to do that? 500 is the what he's going to get. So I'm going to write it here. Let's do different color. It's kind of, let's use this. So the amount he's going to receive is $500. And the principal is going to be $450 because that's what, when they charge him $50, that's what is going to be the principal, the annual simple interest. So that's what you need to find, the rate. So they're asking what is the rate. And 2 months early. So that's going to be the time is 2 out of 12. Now 2 divided by 12, it's like 1.1666 repeating. So I'm going to keep it as a fraction. When I reduce 2 over 12, it's going to be 1/6 of a year. Okay, so I'm going to keep it at 1/6 so I can get more precise answer in the end. Always when you solve problems like that, try to round on the end. So plug the numbers in the calculator and round only the last number and keep it as exact as possible. Okay, so here we're going to plug those numbers into the formula. So A equals principal 1 plus RT, and you're going to just plug the numbers. So you have 500, 450 is the principal, 1 plus R, and 1/6 is the time. So the same steps, divide by 450. So we're going to get, here we're dividing, which is again repeating number. So we're going to just keep it as a, just reduce it, divide by 0, and then I can divide by 5. So I'm going to get 10, and divide by 5, 9. So 10 over 9, I'm going to keep it like that. 10 over 9, as a fraction is more precise, 1 plus 1/6 R. I'm going to subtract 1. Here we're going to work with a little fractions. So 10 over 9 minus 1, I can change it 9 over 9. Because the denominator is 9, you need common denominator. 1 over 6 R. And then 10 over 9 minus 1 over 9, I'm going to continue over here, is going to be 1 over 9, right? 1 over 6 R. Now, in order to get R by itself, I've got to multiply by 6 both sides. So I'm going to multiply by 6 and multiply by 6. Now 6 cancels, so I get R by itself is here, it's 6 over 1, so I multiply. Now 6 over 9, you can reduce it, but we need the decimal form here because it's my final answer. So 6 divided by 9, it's 0.6666 repeating 6. So it's 0.666 repeating. Okay, depends how many 6 you need. And again, I'm going to multiply by 10. By 100, change it to percent. So it's going to be 6 point, and we need 1 decimal. So it's going to be the rate is going to approximate to 66.7%. Okay, any questions? Okay, so that's how you do this. And then we have like 2 more to go for this section, and then you're going to take a little break. Let me just write what you have. If it's similar, I'm just going to leave it for you to finish it, just to go over everything. So here we have a late charge on a utility bill can be interested as an interest charge. If John water bill was 85 with 2.5 charge for being late, what annual simple interest, so they're asking what is the rate if John pays the bill 2 weeks later, so that's the time. Now we have to change weeks to years. So what that means? That means, what that means? We have the time, we're gonna change 2 weeks. How many weeks in 1 year? There are 52 weeks. That's how you change it. So 2 divided by 52, you can just round it and keep it as a fraction. So you can round in the end. So it's gonna be 1 over 26 of a year. Okay, so that's gonna be the time, 1 over 26. And then let's see what is given, the charge. So this is the interest they're paying, right? So here you can use the other formula, you can use the interest because we know the interest. So the interest is PRT because we have 85 is the amount is gonna charge. So you can just plug it in this formula. So the interest is 2.5. It's 85. The rate is what I need to find, and the time is 1 over 26. So now, in order to get R by itself, I need to divide by 85 both sides and multiply by 26, right? So kind of solve for R. So I need to do that both sides. So I'm going to divide by 85. And also multiply by 26. I'm going to do that together. Or I can just do times like this. Okay, and then I can just put it in the calculator because we need the decimal. Okay, I'm going to do it my calculator so I can. So you have 26 times 2.5 and then divided by 85. It's 0.06, I'm sorry, 76. 470,588. I'm writing all the decimal I have. Now we need to multiply by 100, so I'm going to move the decimal 2 places. So it's going to be 76 point, and we have to round through the 1 decimal. So because this is 7, we're going to add 1 to the 4. So my answer, the rate is going to be 76.5%. Okay? Everybody understand that? Okay, the next one is the same way. What rate? So that's the principal is 325. The time is 3 months. So it's going to be 3 out of 12, which is 0.25. And then the charge, the interest is $33. So you do the same way like number 14. So plug it in and find what is the rate. Okay, so I'm not going to solve that the same way, the same idea. And this is the last one for 3.2. And the next one is going to be 3.2. So we finished 3.1, we're going to continue with 3.2. So in 3.2, we're going to talk about compound and continuous interest. So these are the key words: compound interest and continuous compound interest. So these are two different type of investments. So compound interest is, I'm just going to explain the definition of it, like what is the process. So when you invest your money in the bank, or you borrow money, whatever is the case, you have compound interest. So this is the compound interest. We have all the formulas here. The simple interest, you already talked about the simple interest, right? We know that. So compound interest, what's happened, you invest your money, and depends how you compound. So you have, hold on, sorry. Okay, so you have compound monthly, compound annually, compound weekly, compound whatever compound. So compound always goes with another word which tells you what is M. This letter M, it's how you compound. So again, we have P is the principal, R is the decimal form of the rate, T is the time in years also. So now M is the number of times you compound. So that means M is 1 if it says compound annually. M is 2 when it's compound semi-annually. M is 4 when it's quarterly. If it says compound quarterly, M is going to be 4. So I'm going to just write annually. This is semi-annually, so 2 times a year. Quarterly, it's 4. Monthly is 12 months a year. Weekly is going to be 52 weeks. If it's daily, how many days? 365 days, right? Okay, so and so on, if you need whatever it's compound. So this is the this is the number for M, and you have M down here in the formula and also M in the exponent. So this is the formula you're using now. If it says compound continuously, so this here technically, the next formula is continuous interest So if it's continuous, see in the formula doesn't have M, have only P principal, E, which is the Euler number we talk about. So you're gonna put in the calculator E, RT, there's no M. So continuous means M approach infinity, which means you calculate the rate infinity times a year. So what compound interest means? Means if let's say you compound monthly, so if you invest your money, they're not gonna stay there for years like a simple interest. For compound interest, you're gonna calculate the rate and you're gonna add it to the principal. So while your money is staying in the bank or whatever you invest in or borrowing, the money are gonna grow faster with compound interest, because if it's, let's say, monthly, every month you're calculating the rate and you're adding it to the principal. And then the next month when you calculate the rate, is going to be over the principal plus the interest from the previous month. So that way the money are going to grow faster. Okay? So let's solve some problems so you can see how this works. And again, we have to round the numbers, the money to the nearest dollar, the percentage to the 2 decimal, and the time to the nearest year. So we're going to keep the same rounding principles. And then let's suppose that we have 3,000 is invested in an account, pays 2% annual interest. Compare balance after 20 years using simple interest and compound interest once a year. So if it's once a year, M is going to be 1. Okay, so I'm going to do those two comparisons. So you have simple interest and you're going to do the compound interest, and you're going to see what way of investment is going to give us better return. So let's do the simple interest. So we know the formula. We have 3,000 is invested, so that's the principal. The rate in decimal is going to be 0.02%, and 20 years is the time. Okay, so simple interest, you're going to use the formula for simple interest. So the amount is going to be P1 plus RT, that's the formula, and you're going to plug it in that formula. So the amount you're going to get is 3,000, 1 plus 0.02 times 20 years. So that's what you're going to plug it in. So I'm going to just do it in my calculator here. So 0.02 times 20, it's 0.4 plus 1. And then I'm going to multiply by 3,000. And that's 4,200. So that's how much you're going to get. Okay, let's do the other type of investment where we're going to use we're going to use compound interest. So the formula for compound interest is the amount is equal principal 1 plus R over M with exponent MT. So this is the formula we're going to plug the numbers. So we have A equals 3,000 is the principal, the same way, the same numbers, plus 0.02 is the rate over M. If it's once a year, M is going to be 1. And then with exponent 1 times 20 years. So this is what I need to put in my calculator, and I'm going to use my symbol up calculator. So I'm going to plug it in. Come on now. Okay, so I have 3,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.02 divided by 1 with exponent. I need to put exponent 1 times 20. So just plug it exactly like that. Make sure you put exponent to go up and do the exponents. And then let's see, we need to round to the whole number. So looking at the number after the decimal is 0.8, so it's going to round up. So it's going to be 44.58. Oops, 44. So what do you think? Which one is bigger? Which way of investment you're going to get more return?
Compound.
Compound. So compound is a better way of investment. And if you compound more often, you're going to get more return. That's pretty much the principle. Okay? Then going to the next one. Here we have, again, you're going to compare here. We have 6,000 invested, 3% rate compound interest. Compare the amount after 10 years, if it's compound semi-annually, quarterly, monthly, or continuously. So we're going to do the numbers for all of those. So if it's semi-annually, then I know M is going to be 2. The quarterly M is going to be 4 times a year. Monthly is going to be 12 times a year. Continuously, you're going to use different formula. Okay? So let's start with all of those, and then you're going to check the numbers. You're going to compare. So what is given? This is the principal 6,000. The rate is going to be 0.03% rate. And the time is 10 years, right? This is the time. Okay? So let's use the formula compound interest. So we have the formula is A equals P1 plus R over M with exponent MT. So for A, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to get 6,000. Just going to move it a little. Parentheses 1 plus 0.03, the same rate, over 2 with exponent 2 times 10. So that's what I need to put in my calculator, and I'm going to use symbol up again. So we have 6,000. I'm going to just change this 6,000. The percent was 3%, and this was 2, and this is 2 also, and we have 10 years. So let's double check. 6,000, 0.032 and 10. Okay, and let's see what you're going to get. I'm going to round to the whole number. Okay, so we have 8,081 because after the decimal is 1, so we're going to keep it like that, 8081. Okay, then you're going to do B. The second one, it's quarterly, so it's the same, just M is going to be 4. So it's going to be 6,000, 1 plus 0.03 over 4 with exponent 4 times 10. And let's see what you're going to get. So we're just going to change in the calculator. 2 is going to change to 4. Everything else stays the same. And remember there are 2 m's, so when you change it in the formula, make sure you change it in the 2 places, in the bottom of the fraction and also in the exponent. Okay, and that will give us, after the decimal is 0, so we're going to get 8090. It's a little bit more, right? And then let's do C. C, we're going to have monthly, so we're going to change 4 to 12. M is going to change to 12. And let's see what you're going to get there. So in the calculator, we're changing 4 to 12. Both of those m's have to be changed to 12. And we're going to get 8096, right? Because after the decimal, always look at the next digit to round correct. 8096. And then let's do the last one where it's continuously. So if you compound continuously, then you're using different formula. And the formula is PE with exponent RT. This is the formula for continuously. So we're going to have 6,000 is the principal. E, the rate is 0.03 times 10 years. So that's what you're going to put. So now we're going to change everything here. So we're going to just press E in the keyboard, and then you're going to put exponent 0.03 times 10, like that. So the answer is going to be 8099. Okay, so everybody see the different amount you're going to get depends what type of investment you have. So be careful. It's always very important how you invest your money. The result, the amount you're going to receive is going to be different. So it's very important to do that. Okay, any questions? Okay, going to number 3, where we have to do it like step by step here, first year, end of the first, end of the second. So I'm going to skip this. It's kind of calculating. You can do that. Let's go ahead and do number 4 and 5 and 6 if we can. Okay, so you're saving for the down payment on a house and plan to buy the house in 5 years. And so the time is 5 years, right? You know that already. 5 years. How much will you need to invest? So here they're asking the principal. What is the principal? That paid 3.5%. So the rate is 0.035. Change it. Now, the key word here is compound monthly. So that means you're going to use the formula for compound interest, and M is going to be 12 months. in order to have 15,000, so that's 15,000 is going to be the amount you're going to receive in your down payment, okay? So you have given the time, given the amount, given the rate and the M, compound monthly formula. We need to solve for the principal. So let's do that. So we're going to plug it in into the compound interest formula because that's what it says, compound monthly. So if it says compound monthly, compound weekly, then you're going to use compound formula. If it says compound continuously, then you're using the formula with the E. Okay, so keep that in mind. So the formula you're going to use is A equals P 1 plus R over N with exponent MT. And then you're going to plug all the given numbers. So I'm going to plug it in. The amount is 15,000. P 1 plus 0.035 over 12 with exponent 12 times 5 years, 5. Okay, so now how are you going to solve for P? You're going to divide both sides by this. So I'm going to calculate this and divide 15,000 by, you can just put it like this in the calculator, 1 plus 0.035 over 12 with exponent 12 times 5. So divide both sides by that and it's going to give you P. Okay, so I'm going to just put it like that, 1500 divided by, so that's what you're going to put here. So I'm going to do fraction, 1500, oops. Let me double check, is it 1500 or 15,000? 15,000, one more zero, right? Okay. Okay, I have 15,000 and then I have 1 plus 0.035 over 12 and then exponent 12 times 5. Let's double check that. So I have 15,000 in the top, 1 plus 0.035, 12, 12, 5. Okay? And let's see how much. Okay? So it's going to be 12,000. We're down to the whole number, so it's going to be 12,595. Okay, so that's it. Any questions? So here we have the next question is related to this one. So I just have to think about or calculate what's going on. Before you invest your money in the account in counting problem 4, you find another bank that pays better interest, compound quarterly. Will this account allow you to invest more or less money than the account? So here you have to do the same, but with different rate and compound quarterly. So we just have to calculate the principal for this one. So using the same formula, because it's quarterly, M is going to be 4. And the rate is going to be 0.045. So pretty much it's the same idea, the same numbers, everything. So I can just here use the number 4. So I'm just going to put the fraction. So P is going to be 15,000 over 1 plus point. The rate is going to be different, 0.45. I'm sorry, 425. I'm trying to finish on time and skipping numbers, right? Oh no, what I did? Okay. Oof. Okay. Oof. I was like, why I lost it? Okay, so I'm gonna put point. So I'm gonna erase that 0.5. It's 0.25. 425. And then it's gonna be, instead of 12, it's gonna be 4. And then raised to power 4 times 5. Because we're changing only the rate and the compound quarterly. So this is what you're going to put in the calculator, and let's see what you're going to get for the principal. Okay, so we're going to just go to the calculator and change the rate to point. What's going on with my computer? Okay, let's just reload that page. Symbol up is doing something. Oh, okay, nothing is there. Okay, so I'm gonna enter that again. So I'm gonna do fraction 15,000 and then 1 plus 0.0425 over 4 with exponent 4 times 5. Like that, okay? Let's double, oops, I put extra 0 here. 15,000.0 over 4, 4 times 5. Yes, that's exactly what I have. And let's see. The answer is 12,142. Let's use different color. 12,000 and what? 142. Okay, so what that means? Which one is better? Which bank is better? In number 4 or in number 5? What you guys think? Which bank is better to use? Do you wanna, okay, you wanna have 15,000 in 5 years, and one bank tells you you need to start with $12,595 to get to 15,000 for 5 years, and the other bank tells you you need to start with 12,142. Which one you think is better?
The second one.
The second one, of course. Yes, you start with less money, but you're going to get the same amount for the same time. So why the second is better? Because the second bank, we have the investment is better, the rate is bigger, and even if they compound quarterly, which means they're calculating the rate less time a year, in the end, you're going to get more because the percentage is better, is bigger. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, we have a few more minutes. Let's go ahead and do number 6. And pretty much the rest of it is the same way. Okay, so number 6. Joe has invested 6,000. So you have 6,000 and like to use the money for buying property. If he needs 7,000 for the investment, how long, so that means how long is the time, that's what you need to find. He has to wait to buy the property. If he invests the money in the account that pays 3.5% rate, compound weekly, so we're using compound interest formula, M is going to be 52 weeks a year, and the rate is going to be 0.035. Okay, so he starts with 6,000, so that's the principal, and the amount he needs is 7,000. So again, plug it in. We need to solve for t, this one. So how you do that? We're gonna plug it into the formula, which is a equals, you know what, let me just make it bigger so I can, that's better, right? So a is gonna be p, principal, 1 plus r over m with exponent m t. So plug the numbers. M is 7,000. I'm sorry, the amount is 7,000. The principal is 6,000. And then 1 plus 0.035 over 52 with exponent 52t. The time is what you need to find. How you solve that? You're going to divide by 6,000 first to cancel this. Now, here we're going to keep it like 7 over 6 because when you divide 7 by 6, it's going to be repeating number 6666. So we're going to just keep it as a fraction, 7 over 6. That's what I'm going to use. Then I'm going to calculate this, but I need to use as many decimals possible because I'm not rounding yet. I need to round on the end. So when I calculate this, 1 plus all this, I'm going to get 1.00067308. I'm going to use as many decimals as possible because we need to round on the end. We need to get as precise as possible. And here I'm going to put 7 over 6. And then with exponent 52t. Okay, now this is where you're going to solve equation with exponents. How you solve it? We have exponent, we have to change it to logarithm. So you're going to change it to logarithm. How you change it to logarithm? We're going to switch it, right? You're going to write logarithm with this is the base, then of this equals 52t. So that's what you're going to write. So we're changing exponent to logarithm. We solved equations with logarithms last time. So we're going to get logarithm with base 1.006738 of 7 over 6 equals 52t. Don't worry, you're going to use calculator, okay? And then from here, we need, in order to get, so logarithm is going to give me a number. So in order to get this by itself, I need to divide by 52, right? So all this should be divided by 52. So in the calculator, I'm going to plug it in. T equals logarithm with base 1.0030 zeros, right? Six, 7, 308 of 7 over 6, everything over 52. And you're going to plug it exactly like that in the calculator. So we're going to do, I'm just going to delete all this. So we're going to enter fraction, and you're going to do logarithm with base 1.0006738 of 7 over 6. And then in the bottom you have 52. Oops, 52. So just enter it exactly like that. And let's see how many years. Okay, 4.4. How many years? How you round the answer? Let me double check. Oops. You're going to round the answer as, it was in number 1, right? Somebody remember how to round it? Time to the nearest tenth, so 4.4. So T is going to be 4.4 years. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay, so this is what you have for today.